A little preseason postgame and Damon brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. And this show is powered by BetUS. It's great to have you here. Thanks so much for stopping on by. We have the drama of postseason finality and a game-winning drive. Oh my gosh, are we going to get a game-winning drive out of the New Orleans Saints? Basically, the only thing that can really happen to satisfy the universe is this game end. You know, a preseason game has been going on too long. You know, a preseason game has been going on way too long when they get to the 2-minute warning and they're out of commercial inventory. This was a dragging first half, dragging game. Kyle Shanahan said that he was bored not calling plays. We were pretty bored watching this one. Kyle didn't call the plays again tonight, but some decisions, certainly, we need to talk about them, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But thank you for being here. It is great to have you. My name's Damon Bruce. I've been covering the 49ers for about 20 years. And let me tell you, over here on YouTube, we have an awful lot of fun. It's great to have you here. You're going to find a reasonable, very smart chat. And I thank them for being reasonable, smart people. We try not to get all caught up in moments and nonsense like real preseason results. But there are some thought processes that are absolutely on the table to talk about and criticize a little here tonight. As it all stands, though, with 2 minutes remaining in this game, it doesn't seem like any major injury has occurred, which means this is nothing short of one of the single greatest preseason games of all time. That's all you can hope for. All you can hope for is that nobody really gets hurt. And I'll tell you, the way that Brock Purdy was exposed behind a less than offensive line early on in this game, my head was scratching a little bit. It really, really was. But it is, look, awesome to have you here. We officially get going at the 2-minute warning. It's a very aggressive post-game show, and we're going to be with you all season long. So I hope you hit like. I hope you hit notify. You hit that like button right now. It is going to help the algorithm pick this show up and share it with other people. More people are going to find us here, and hopefully you plan on being a part of this channel's success. Thank you so much for doing so. Super chats are open. As always, we thank our sponsors, Ike of Ike Sandwiches. That is the best sandwich you're going to find just about anywhere, and you can find it in more and more places than ever before. Nearly 100 locations. Let me get my weatherman point correct there. That is Ike Sandwiches. Our friends at the Dubliner, West Portal, in San Francisco, phenomenal. But we are officially powered as well by BetUS. And if you're looking for a new book this upcoming football season, everyone has told me about, books in the past they've been really disappointed with. The payout wasn't right. The communication wasn't right. The odds weren't right. The interface wasn't right. Well, check out BetUS. 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. BetUS, very cool app. Great to use on your desktop as well, but I'm telling you, BetUS is a way you might want to check out making some plays this upcoming football season.
West.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
All right, so now we got the business out of the way. The business at hand is the Saints are going to be facing a 4th and 7. A 4th and 7 here in a 6-point game. They are just outside the red zone. Looks like they're snapping from about the 22, 23-ish yard line. Let's see when we come on back here. That was a throw to the end zone. Good coverage all around. No flags all around. The last thing this game needs, the last thing this preseason game needs is another booth review or official review that has been just ridiculous. Don't need it. Oh, excuse me. That was 4th down. Again, I'm this riveted where that was 4th down. It is victory formation, 16-10. The 49ers, I guess they'll run a few plays here. Tanner Mordecai is going to hand off up the middle, tick-tock. But this game is essentially over for all intents and purposes. The meaning in a meaningless football game. Let's go over it, shall we? Because this is hopefully why you're here. This is hopefully what will bring you back. Again, hit like and subscribe and notify, and we will be hanging out all football season long after 49ers games. The meaning in a meaningless football game is this. Number one, Brock Purdy did not get hurt. That's meaningful because there were 3 hits put on Brock Purdy that you don't really want to see your starting quarterback taking in a preseason game. He was really hit on a 3rd down incomplete pass that was like a blindside, came from, where Trent Williams and Aaron Banks weren't. That was a hit that, very good he survived. Look, I am never going to sit and watch any element of a football game clutching my pearls. Anybody could be hurt at any time, but it just feels like you want to get your starting quarterback some reps in the preseason. I get it. Don't have to convince me. I know that we can do this one of 2 ways. You can totally rest a guy, or you can get him a little just action to warm him into it. If you're going to get the action to warm him into it, at least have him behind a starting-ish offensive line. This was nothing like a starting offensive line, but still Purdy was out there. And still there was a naked bootleg called. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Number one, most important thing, Brock Purdy, who did not, while he was out there, do much with this offense, didn't get hurt. Phenomenal football game. Number 2, you'd think that Josh Dobbs wrapped up QB2 with some of his performance tonight. Josh Dobbs was pretty damn good when he was in there. And what you gotta like about this athlete is that he's a smart guy who processes everything quickly. And he's got all sorts of escapability about him. He's a real athlete. Then you see a guy like Brandon Allen come into a game. He is a much less pizzazzy, but more efficient 10-7 from the pocket in this game. And he fits Shanahan's style and system. Josh Dobbs could probably better fit a deteriorating situation. Like, much more of an improviser is Josh Dobbs than I think Brandon Allen will ever be pegged as an improviser. But Dobbs, a better improviser. I thought he comported himself really well. Again, Brandon Allen wasn't bad. Tanner Mordecai, we finally got a little look at him. He's not in the conversation for backup quarterback. I don't think that the backup quarterback conversation has completely been settled, but I would give Josh Dobbs maybe the edge based on the game that we just watched together. He's good. I think they got some real competition, though, for the backup quarterback, and I think that Brandon Allen is good. I don't think either one of these guys is going to let go of the rope so significantly that the other guy wins by default. I don't see that coming. So there's a choice to be made here, and the choice for Kyle is going to be, would I rather have the better athlete to make more out of a bad situation, or would I rather have a guy that could come on in and fit my system? Knowing Kyle, he might end up always giving the tie to the system guy. So it still could be Allen, but Dobbs played well tonight. There's an official, interesting quarterback conversation to be had at QB2 for the 49ers. Excuse me. Number 3 in the finding meaning in a meaningless game, Dominic Puni. Dominic Puni in this game was the 49ers' best offensive lineman in the game. He, maybe McKivitz had a better pass blocking score or run blocking score, whatever. He also committed a penalty. Puni played incredibly well all game long, and I got a little something to share with you, if you don't mind, courtesy of our good friend Guy Haberman. Guy Haberman saw this, grabbed his phone, filmed it, and put it on Twitter, and I want you to watch number 77, Dominic Puni, the right guard, and he makes a mental decision here to when there's no one in front of him, he's going to look for somebody to block. And just look at the spin, look at the quick footwork, look at this. I'm going to roll the tape here on Puni. Look at him, rolling around, looking to make the block. He doesn't get caught in space with nothing to do. He doesn't freeze because it's time to enter. He's looking to put pads on somebody. He's looking. Look at him. Look at him curl back around. Up, coming out. I'm going to play the defense. I'm starting at guard. Now I'm going to curl around, and now I'm the tackle. That's some starting guard business right there. That is starting guard business. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Very interesting stuff there from Dominic Puni. Put it on film, if you will. And that was maybe the single most impressive play of the game. He hardly got hands on anybody, but not getting lost in space is a great sign from a rookie at any position. Because everybody's trained up to do what you're supposed to do while it's right in front of you. Now it's not right in front of you. What are you going to do? Where do your instincts take you? Do you kind of shut down on the play, or do you keep pursuing? Are you looking for something to do? And Puni answered that question emphatically. I'm looking for more to do. Had Dominic Puni been right guard in the fateful Super Bowl play where we saw, an unblocked Kansas City Chief cream Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl, maybe that play goes off. Maybe that play works if Dominic Puni had been in there. So I thought that Puni really comported himself well. Again, the three things that matter most. Brock didn't get hurt. Legit QB2 competition, but not because it's a battle of who's not awful. It's a battle of which one of these guys really will be best for the job. You got Puni looking fantastic. Cody Schrader is going to make this football team. That's another observation. Now, Cody Schrader did not have a great game. He had 7 carries for 19 yards. At one point, let's see, Cody Schrader, how many catches did he end up with? He had a couple, or he at least had targets, right? Cody Schrader, 1 catch. He had 3 targets. He had 1 catch for 5 yards, but he was getting an awful lot of volume usage here in this game. That makes me think that they're really taking a good hard look at him because they're trying to find a role for him on this team. I think Cody Schrader is going to be on this team. He hasn't exactly blown you out of the box score, but he's got just a little instinctual football player in him. He really is. I think, did Mark Sanchez say he could be this team's Danny Woodhead, or did I read that somewhere on Twitter? I can't remember where I picked that one up. It's not an original thought, but I don't want to take full credit for it. But maybe there's a comp there. Not that this team is going to use whoever its Danny Woodhead is very much, but I think you keep this guy around because you can use him out of the backfield. You can use him on special teams. You saw him take the opening hybrid kickoff. I think you could use this guy in punt return as well. So I think there is a role for Cody Schrader on this team. Jacob Cowing made an appearance as a professional on a professional football field. And look, not everybody does that. Just because you get drafted, just because you're on a team, we might never, like tonight, we saw Jacob Cowing have a better career than a lot of drafted to be something turned out to be nothing 49er wide receivers. Tonight, not only did Cowing have, he finished with a team high 4 receptions for a team high 51 yards, a team best 12.8 average. He was thrown to 5 times. Again, he caught 4 balls, and he also had a 19-yard carry on an end around. 1 touch, 19 yards on the ground. Cowing, the rookie wide receiver, has looked pretty good. We still don't know what Ricky Pearsall looks like because he still hasn't been able to get on a football field, which is a little concerning that you're hurt before you've even been touched. But again, another show, another topic, another day. Cowing, we'll talk about what actually happened out here. Cowing looked pretty darn good. And let me tell you, that's 5 things that matter to the Niners' upcoming season. Starting quarterback didn't get hurt. QB2, to be decided. Looks like Dobbs might have a little bit of an edge. Puni, probably a starting guard week 1. He's probably starting week 1. If he doesn't start week 1 because, a healthy Feliciano or Burford shows back up in the room and Kyle just errs on the side of not throwing a rookie out against the Jets off defensive line in his very first game, Monday Night Football, that's fine. But Puni's starting material. At some point this season, it will be his job. Cody Schrader, I think, is making this team. Jacob Cowing is going to certainly make this team. Ronnie Bell is officially not putting it on tape. Not that I can see. Ronnie Bell is not going to be making this team. Presley Harvin. How often do you talk about the camp punter who's got to come in and do something? Presley Harvin is going to be punting for somebody in the NFL this season. It won't be the Niners when Nishnowski's, got the health to have the job. It's going to be his. 3 kicks, though, just absolutely buried inside the 10-yard line. So a nice night of punting for the 49er backup punter. Was not a good night for, let's just call it, the 49ers offense. I don't even care what the numbers end up saying. It was an inefficient night for the 49ers offense, and any night that's inefficient is a bad night of Kyle Shanahan coach football. 25 of 43 was the entirety of the quarterback play. 4 different guys went into this game playing quarterback when Mordecai came in for junk time at the end. 222 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 2 sacks. It was not a night cloaked in glory for the 49ers offense, the passing game. Nothing looked good. But when you look at who wasn't in the game, who's not playing in the game, who is playing in the game under circumstances that maybe they shouldn't be playing in the game, there's nothing really to worry about, and there's certainly not a lot to complain about, because anyone walking away from a preseason game where the vast majority of the team that will play in the regular season doesn't even play, complaining or trying to predict or say this is an omen of or a sign of what's about to come and what happened in the season, that's looking for attention goofiness. That's insanity. What happened in this game, though, is that you get Brock Purdy out there, right? And this is where Shanahan, I think, he gets a little lucky in this one. Shanahan gets a little lucky in this one. He gets hit hard on third down after picking up 1 first down, Brock Purdy does. You got a naked bootleg dialed up for Brock. And this is, like, I could feel that Shanahan wasn't calling the plays. Because who dials that play up for a quarterback playing against the starting defense behind the backup version of his backup offensive line? And Purdy was just exposed in a way that I was like, what? What am I looking at here? Why are you doing that? So I thought that was remarkable for a lot of reasons. And then the throw across his body, which nearly turned into an interception. I mean, every bit of that moment was, to me, soaked in cringe. The whole thing just made me, what are you doing? What are you doing there? He was in for 11 plays. You could see him directing traffic, but he was running out of bounds. Like, he obviously made a couple, career decisions in there, a couple pro decisions that he was just going to live for another day, and that was the right thing to do. The only element of this game that you could say, well, that's good for Brock Purdy, the only single element of this game that was good for him at all, because otherwise it really was sort of a waste of his time. The only bit of this that was good for Brock is that Brock goes in there and does get popped. And sometimes you need a little contact before you feel like you're in your season or you're in a game. Welcome to your football season, Brock Purdy. He took more contact in this game than he's had since the night the 49ers lost the Super Bowl in overtime. So from that standpoint, the welcome your body back to the beaten, it's about to take standpoint, that was good for Brock Purdy. The rest of it, because look, if any starting quarterback, this just doesn't apply to Kyle Shanahan's starting quarterback, this is any starting established quarterback. I'm not talking about Bo Nix, new to the league, trying to prove himself, trying to show the franchise that, yes, it's a rookie, I'm ready to start week 1, which he might have shown the Denver Broncos. But I'm talking about established starting quarterback. The only reason why you get them into a preseason game when they're established is just to warm them up with some valuable reps. There weren't valuable reps for Brock Purdy in tonight's game. They all amounted to nothing, pretty much. So that was disappointing. To see a week tossed aside in terms of its plans to have a joint practice with the Saints because there were too many beaten up bodies for both of these teams, for Brock to be given the opportunity to go in there, again, behind the backup offensive line, and it just not really work out at all, that's a waste of time. It's a shame that Brock Purdy's time was wasted. He was hit 3 times. It's a good thing that he is fine and dandy. Again, Kyle, I'm not going to say got away with one tonight, but Thank God Brock Purdy, nothing bad happened on a night where certainly nothing good happened for him. He was 2 of 6, 11 yards. He was sacked and then hit 3 more times. Another part of this game that I just, didn't understand. And again, we're not going to go ahead and act at all like a preseason game really matters. But in a week where, again, your joint practice was canceled, what are you trotting Jake Moody out there to kick a 24-yard field goal? It's a shame he missed a 50-plus yarder tonight. I think he hit a 47-yarder. And then to get the game from 7-3 to 7-6, instead of giving, Josh Dobbs a chance to run a little 4th and goal, you run out a high school field goal. Why? Why? So what? Who cares if the score is a little bit closer? You don't have to play the scoreboard, especially in a preseason game, when you're making up for the joint practices that you didn't get. It felt like that was a valuable rep that was thrown away in the name of, well, of course Moody's going to hit this 24-yard field goal. So I thought that was a little bit of a moment that was, not cared for, and carelessness. Just doesn't seem like something that fits the Niners. Certainly Shanahan. So really not a lot to complain about because everyone is in that locker room healthy. The winner of tonight's game, though, unquestionably, is Trent Williams. Trent Williams won a preseason game for the San Francisco 49ers this evening, if you can do such a thing. That guy, 1,000%, needs to be on this roster as soon as possible, and that holdout needs to get ended as quickly as possible. And look, Brandon Aiyuk, the man who has hijacked the preseason almost unto himself for the 49ers, what can you say other than he was there tonight? He was there for a guy who would be kicking rocks, upset that he wasn't traded to Pittsburgh. Would he be there tonight if he didn't really want to work his way back over the weekend? You saw several reports where you had guys with NFL reporting credibility trying to attach a percentage to the chance that we would go ahead and have Brandon Aiyuk back on the 40 at 60%. No, 65%. Is it 70%? What about 71.136%? I just think that watching this sloppy, choppy, kind of ugly, poorly paced football game, it makes the 49ers step even closer to resolution with Trent Williams and Brandon Aiyuk. It's time to get those boys in. It's time to get them in. Full stop. Now, look, for the temporary outrage crowd, if there is any, I got to look in here in the chat and see what's going on in the chat. But for all the temporary outrage, that was ugly, that was choppy, that didn't go well, that offensive, defensive line, this, that, the other thing. Here's who was on the field tonight. The other guys. Here's who wasn't on the field tonight. Debo, CMC, Kittle, Jennings, Juszczyk, Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, getting into the depth chart of the offensive line. No Feliciano. Burford, that guy has started. He wasn't out there to be used in any capacity. No Jordan Mason. That wasn't the 49ers. It wasn't the 49ers offense. It wasn't a 49er game plan. This is just getting reps for guys who are about to be cut in a couple weeks. That's pretty much what you got out of this game. But for a few moments, a few dots, a few guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball, they're, getting reps that really matter. What we see in a preseason game feels like because, the lights are on and the cameras are rolling, What we're watching right now matters more to the decision makers than what just happened at the practices we don't see. That's not true at all. I would say that maybe for a position roster spot or two, this entire roster has already been settled in the minds of John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. I don't know if anyone in a game that we all get to watch together because it was on TV is in serious position to play himself on or off this roster. This is a tough roster to make. It's a tough roster to make. This is a very talented team. But good. I like this. Nick J. Hold on. Let me bring this up. Nick J in the chat. Damon, chat not as wild as last week. A little wild, but not level 10 insanity. See, this is good. This is good. This means my crazy sort of hope that we could talk about sports like adults goal for this channel can actually happen. Like, not everything needs to be some breathless, overhyped, overproduced reaction to everything. Now, the last game was week 1 of the preseason. Everybody's getting back into the rhythm of everything, so you get a little grace. But good. I'm glad we got some breaths being taken. That is a good thing. So, look, the winner of the game, Trent Williams and Brandon Aiyuk. Those are the two guys who picked up the biggest wins tonight. Their roster spots are just waiting for them. So bring them on in, get that done, get it done quickly, San Francisco. That is going to be the conversation. We got someone saying panic mode on Moody. Guess who's calling for his job? See, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. Thank you very much. Let's see. So I hate to rob you of your temporary outrage. I really do. Let's talk about what wasn't necessarily impressive. Mark Sanchez brought this up because there were a few times where I thought the 49ers were going out of their way to stack that box. And it was still a running downhill night for a few New Orleans Saints coming out of the backfield. Now, Taysom Hill is a big dude. That guy's a grinder. He is trouble for this league and has been for a while. He had an 11-yard run against an 8-man box, and Mark Sanchez said that out loud, and I wrote that down, and I thought, all right, well, you don't want that. I don't care if those are your backups, your scrubinos, your practice squad guys. You just do not want to be stacking a box with any guys wearing your uniforms and watch them just get run through like a strainer. Not that the 49ers were run through like a strainer, but they did give up 134 yards on 35 carries. It's an awful lot of carries. But 134 yards, you might say already, well, man, this defensive line, I don't know. Well, look, guess who wasn't playing defense tonight? No Bosa, no Leonard, no Floyd, no Ward, no Lenore, no Fred Warner, no Hargrave, no Malik Collins, who I think is going to be your first and second down defensive tackle in an awful lot of this season. Hufanga's going to be back soon. That's some good news right there. Dre Greenlaw, obviously, for obvious reasons, is not playing tonight. So that's really not the 49ers defense, with the exception of a few guys who I did think contributed. It might not have been a highlight night for the defense at large, but for some of the guys who were playing defense tonight, I thought that they had some really good highlights. Jair Brown blew up Taysom Hill early in this game when the Saints were operating out of their own end zone. He just sniffed out that play. He penetrated. He made the perfect tackle. It was really nice work out of Jair Brown. I thought that Renardo Green made a really nice play on third down in this game with a pass breakup. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the rookie corner, Renardo Green. Malik Mustafa had a hit on Olave that I thought was fantastic. He crept right up and just put the pads on him. He closed the distance between himself and Olavi much faster than a man his size should be able to close that distance. So that was impressive. I thought that Yatir Gross-Matos and Jordan Elliott had their moments where they played pretty well, and you could see that these were the guys that clearly the Saints were concentrating on blocking while those around them were less than those guys. So, I mean, I just thought that they did a pretty good job. I liked Yatir Gross-Matos getting the edge to collapse right on Derek Carr in this game when they got Carr a little rattled. And then a guy who is, believe it or not, one of the longest tenured 49ers. Most fans don't even really know him because he spent so much time on the practice squad. Alex Barrett took a ball away from Saints backup QB Spencer Rattler, just ripped it right out of his freaking hands, basically. And I thought that that was impressive and good for him because he doesn't get much shine on him at all. Even Dave Lombardi was like, here's a guy who's been around the team for a long time and he actually gets a little highlight to put on film. Good. I mean, was he going to play a big role in this year? Probably not. But, good. It's a good story. Everyone likes a good story. Make this channel a good story. Hit like and subscribe. We just eclipsed 23,000 subscribers. So thank you very much if you already have. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? And if you haven't hit a like on this show, please do. Would really appreciate it if you can get that algorithm growing. It makes more people understand, hey, the show is out here, it's up, it's running, and you can come back because once the regular season begins, we will be back at it at the 2-minute warning. It is the NFL's most aggressive post-game show. We don't even wait for the game to end. I thought we should slip into some chats, but again, thank you to all the sponsors. As always, thank you to Ike of Ike Sandwiches. Thank you so much to the Dubliner and West Portal. And we are powered by BetUS. There is a link pinned to the chats, and there is a link to BetUS that I'd love you to check out and think about as making it your new book this upcoming football season. Check out the link in the description of this video as well if the chat isn't populating. But I learned how to pin something to the top of the chat. I'm very, very proud of myself. Raphael529ers, as always, thank you, brother. Like and subscribe, everyone. Thank you, Raphael. Appreciate that. Okay. What have we got? Kevin Harper saying the punter had the night of his life. Presley Harvin was fantastic. Like, I hope he makes an NFL roster, man. I hope he makes an NFL roster. I really do. James Jones, great to back have you on. He said, Damon's on. The world's right once again. Thank you very much. Mike saying, oh, not bad for a preseason game. I mean, I wasn't exactly sitting on the edge of my seat for that one, but I hear you. I hear you. We got Steve saying the defense still can't end the run. Bad. Very bad. And the defense wasn't really out there. Steve, if that were a whole bunch of guys who are actually going to play this football season, I'd be a bit more worried. And I'm not saying that you are completely without concern. You don't want to see your defense get gashed. You don't. But we haven't seen the real 49ers play defense yet this year. So I'm not worried here. Not worried yet. Mike saying, congratulations on the subs. Thank you very much, Mike Antics 19. I appreciate that. I also appreciate the super chat right here. Norris Mitchell putting $2 in the ganja jar. There it goes, right there. $2. Every time you go hit that super chat, the ganja jar gets a little fuller. Therefore, my life gets a little fuller. Look at, we're on in Iceland right now, baby. Iceland, baby. Jonas, Yomir, Johansson, Jurgen Flurgen for all of us. Thank you, Jonas. It's so good to see you, man. Mike's making predictions. 30K by the end of the year. Pass the word along, Mike. It's up to you. Freddie, great question. I was going to get to this. I didn't think it was opening monologue stuff. Did Mason Pline play a snap? I didn't see it. I certainly didn't notice it. Now, I haven't rewatched the game, stopping, toggling, looking at things, but I don't know. It didn't feel like he was out there. It looked like Cameron Latu was getting a whole bunch of opportunities to show that he belonged in a position to continue to fight for a roster spot, because Cameron Latu was a guy that a lot of people thought was going off the roster. He might have played himself onto the roster here. 3 catches, 30 yards. Couple of drops, couple of didn't get to it. I think we got a fumble there. I did think this, Steve. The error Kyle and company made was not keeping Chase Young. He fixed his neck and is now elite. I don't know if he's elite, okay? Remember, Chase Young looked really good because I think he came back to play in a stadium where he played himself right off this team by dogging it against the Detroit Lions. So I didn't think, he wasn't going to come in here and dog it. He was going to play his dick off. He was also playing against backups and backups of backups. So Chase Young better have looked good. But I did also, Steve, think to myself, for a team that's already worried about its depth along its defensive line, the team that traded for Chase Young, let him walk. And he's looking pretty good tonight. Dobbs, a starter for me. Well, on what team? This one? He's not going to start on this team unless something terrible has happened to Brock Purdy. But maybe somewhere. I mean, I'll tell you, you can hear all the Pastronaut references till you want to start punching yourself in the head. I heard the word Pastronaut 9 times, I think, in this broadcast. That's got to stop. He's a hell of an athlete. He's got a computer in his brain. He's a smart guy. And if ever given the chance to stick around one place and get to know a team, I think he could be successful. But he has been on the move. That guy has had more offensive coordinators, playbooks, and uniforms in just the last season than most guys have in their careers. I think he had 4 different uniforms on last year, or last year to this year. It's crazy. I thought he looked good. Kevin O. Kennedy said, Dobbs didn't do anything special. Allen is a solid QB2. Mordecai needs to be on the roster. It's going to be hard to keep all 3 guys. That's going to be tough to do. But I thought Dobbs did do a couple of special things. He got out of trouble. Like when the play breaks down, I like Josh Dobbs' chances of getting through that broken down play maybe more than anyone but Brock Purdy on this team, okay? I mean, Dobbs can improvise, where I haven't seen Allen really put in that position right up until tonight, where he had, I'm not calling it a pump fake, it was a pump tuck. He pumped, tucked the ball, moved through. It was still short on 3rd down, so punt crew came out. But that was, I thought, a beautiful play out of Brandon Allen. So I was impressed by Brandon Allen right there. Jay Mills says, Dobbs feels like trade bait, in my opinion. Somebody out there could use him. You might be right. I mean, one quarterback injury away from maybe somebody calling Kyle and saying, well, you got a guy who quickly adapts to new situations. I don't think anybody in this league sees Josh Dobbs right now as a starting quarterback. But I think he can absolutely carve out a role for himself as an effective backup quarterback in this league to the tune of, if you missed your guy for a month, you can go 2-2 with Josh Dobbs. You can go 2-2 with Josh Dobbs over a month. And really, that sounds like hardly a compliment. That's as much as you can really kind of ask for, isn't it? Out of a backup quarterback. So I like Josh Dobbs. Nick has a theory here. Maybe they're showcasing Dobbs and Allen as the backup. Mordecai's the 3rd guy, and then they can trade Dobbs for some draft picks. I don't know. Again, maybe they're playing 3-dimensional chess with their 4th string quarterback right now, but I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe I was just more concerned about not seeing Brock Purdy killed because you had guys who probably aren't, NFL offensive linemen blocking for him, blocking for him. I guess that's a Freudian slip. Latu will be cut. Well, look, if the Tongass kid continues to keep on coming on, if they really fall in love with Braden Willis, who seems like he's getting quite a bit of attention, maybe. Niners backup quarterback Josh. Did I say Josh Allen instead of Josh Dobbs? You all know what I meant. Sorry. El Stroco Loco. All right. Question here from everyone's worst nightmare. Why didn't Mason get played? I heard that he had tweaked something, and I also think Mason is getting you're way too important to this upcoming season to be playing preseason football anymore treatment. So while they are taking a couple of backup running backs, I have a decision on Mason. There's nothing, look at it this way, everyone's worst nightmare. There's nothing negative to be inferred by him not playing. Riddy, we got some dogs. I mean, I didn't walk away from that game thinking you got dogs. To me, I walked away from that game thinking most of the dogs didn't play tonight. And that explains what I see more than these other remaining dogs aren't very good at this. I did see some flashes, though. I like what I saw out of Bradley Beal Beal Jr. I thought that he played pretty well. Really nice crash on a run. He just tackled a runner behind the line of scrimmage. I thought that was really solid. Thought Rock Ya-Sin had a couple moments in this game that looked good. Darrell Luter had a moment. Curtis Robinson is a guy that is going to be playing more than just special teams this year. Curtis Robinson, filling in for Fred Warner, has looked pretty darn good as middle linebacker. I thought that Demetrius Flanagan Fowles looked like he was a step slow all night long. Like the snap, the ball would snap, and like you could see him reading the play more than just instantly reacting to it. So I wasn't very impressed with him this evening. I wrote another name down. Oh, yeah, Jalen Graham. That sack of Spencer Rattler that he had I thought was pretty good, too. So you're going to see more of Jalen Graham and Curtis Robinson than you did last week, and I like that. Big Mac, thank you very much. Love me some Postgame and Damon. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Please do so. Alex, I would agree with you here. Ronnie Bell can't catch even if his life depended on it. Bell and Gray are gone. Kevin, I think I agree with you. I don't think those guys are going to end up on the roster. How about this way? Trent Taylor on the team, one of those guys definitely gone. So I think both those guys are expendable. Because I think you want this guy on the team. Matt Breida looked like he hasn't lost anything. Irwin, I would agree, man. Matt Breida still got it. I would agree with this. Tay Martin is playing better than Bell. Yeah. I would agree with that. And again, see, we go back a little early. Easy, people. Easy. Reevaluate. Everyone's panicked a little bit tonight. This is important. Remember. No McCaffrey, no Mason, no Debo, no Aiyuk, no Kittle, no Williams, no lots of guys. No Niners, basically, is what this game really was. So don't walk away feeling too bad about anything or too worried about anything. Nobody gets hurt between now and Monday Night Football with the New York Jets. That's the only way that this preseason can wrap up well. Nobody get hurt. They don't count, but they do matter. David, perfect saying. They don't count, but they do matter. Like I said, we tried to make some meaning out of a meaningless game. I kind of want to go over the list again for those who are late into the room, just getting here. I think there are 6 things that really jumped out from this game this evening. Number 1, good thing Brock Purdy didn't get hurt, because that's the only good news from this game. What a waste of Brock Purdy's time and evening, and he shouldn't have been exposed to real live bullets without a better force field around him. That's the way I feel about that one. Dobbs and Allen both played well. Dobbs might have a little bit of an edge. Maybe Allen does, because I think he might fit the Shanahan style of play better. But when you're a backup quarterback, and shit's going bad around you, Dobbs could maybe handle that even better than Allen. So I think that whoever one of those guys wins QB2 will have absolutely earned it, because there's a little bit of a competition going on right now. I want to share the screen once again. Go back to sharing the screen to show you Dominic Puni. This is from my buddy Guy Haberman, who put this out earlier. Look at Dominic Puni here. Let me go ahead and just start this for you. Watch Puni, number 77. He's in the lower third of the screen. And look, it's in space. He's got nothing to do. He curls around and he makes a block to keep the play alive. Look at that. Playing in space. You hear the phrase an awful lot of times, but a lot of people don't know what it means. That guy plays in space well. What does play in space well means? That's what that means. Finding something to do when it's not ready and obvious and in front of you. Keeping your head on a swivel is something I'm sure a linebacker coach that you've heard say on a practice field, right? Look at Puni keep his head on a swivel. Look at him. This is a really big guy. Look at that footwork. Look at the pirouette. Am I watching the ballet? Is this guy a ballerina? Look at this. I'm not about to do a Baldy breakdown, but that is some smooth footwork for a very large man curling back around to keep the play alive. That is starting material, boys and girls. That guy is going to be a starting guard for the San Francisco 49ers. You can bet on it. And you can go to BetUS, by the way, to bet on it. Check out BetUS. 125% bonus on the first 3 deposits up to $2,000, baby. BetUS. Get it done. Link is in the description. Link pinned to the chats. But I thought that was maybe the play of the game, honestly, from Dominic Puni right there. Great capture by Guy Haberman. I got to get Guy on the channel this week. Cody Schrader feels like he's going to make this football team. He still hasn't even played really good football, but it just feels like he's comfortable out there. He looks like he gets it. He looks like this team is certainly trying to feed him opportunities to make this team. So they like something in him for sure. Jacob Cowing, welcome to the NFL, kid. Jacob Cowing, welcome to the NFL. Tonight he was the San Francisco 49ers. What I'm seeing about rushing here. How many yards? Because he had the 19 yards. Let's see. It's a 25. The third leading rusher. He had 1 carry for 19 yards. He had a team-high 4 carries, a team-high 51 receiving yards. Jacob Cowing looked pretty good. Thought Jacob Cowing looked pretty good in this game. First impressions, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. I thought that was a good first impression out of Jacob Cowing. And the 6th making meaning out of a meaningless game, Presley Harvin. The punter buried 3 punts inside of the 10-yard line. That guy, if that guy's not an NFL punter, there's something I don't know about NFL punters. I don't like if that guy isn't an NFL punter, what is? So hopefully that guy makes a roster somewhere. Obviously, when Wisnowski gets back, the job will be his. But those, to me, were the biggest takeaways in a game that, as David eloquently said, they don't count, but they do matter. I thought those were the things that mattered. At wide receiver, keep the speed Cowing Gray. I don't think Gray's on this team, but Cowing, yeah, he's on this team. What do we got? Kyle says, and this is, I guess, about Brock Purdy. He looked like the last pick in the draft with the third string offensive line in a meaningless game. Look, this was not a great showing of Brock Purdy in any way, shape, or form. The only thing good that happened out on that field for Brock tonight is that he took contact like a man. Welcome to the football season, and we'll see you when it really matters. But no, it was not a successful night for Kyle's not going to be happy with this. Kyle's not happy with the way that this whole week has gone, I'm sure. So, you know what I think? Not this Kyle either. I mean, Kyle Shanahan. What I think really needs to happen is that they got to change the vibes, and the fastest way to change the vibes and the single biggest winner of tonight was Trent Williams. Trent Williams should be in the room on Monday morning, and Brandon Aiyuk in the room on Monday afternoon. Let's get both of those guys signed if you're the 49ers, to send a clear message that you're not fooling around in a game where you didn't exactly look great against a going-nowhere fast New Orleans Saints team. Saints did play ones. Niners were in their 2s and 3s, except for their starting quarterback, which, again, I just didn't understand why you would risk Brock Purdy and his health and his season behind your backup to your backup offensive lineman. I didn't get that one. But didn't get hurt, no harm, no foul, but not a single valuable rep was made in this game for Purdy. Not a single valuable rep. You know what Brock Purdy learned tonight? Nothing. He learned that Braden Willis isn't going to come back to him on the comeback route unless he's doing one of these, which he tried to do. He tried to conduct the orchestra in real time there. Didn't work. He ran out of bounds. He didn't get hurt. That's good. Feels like Kyle got away with one just a little bit. Henry, it gets simple. These receivers aren't too great. Pay Aiyuk. Yeah, I mean, that's ain't too great. Go get that guy. You guys were acting like Brock choked or something. It was 2 drives. Maybe the defense got lucky, called the right play, plus Brock had no blocking and Cody could run the ball. There's nothing to really be inferred. It's a shame that they weren't more valuable reps. And I'll tell you what would have happened. He was out there for 3 drives. There was a 5-play drive before they punted for the first time, everyone's worst nightmare, followed by 2 3-and-outs for Brock Purdy. I really do think that they would have sent him back out there. But that's when the Saints went on like a 12-play, however many minute-long drive it was, the length of the field. And at that point, you're like, Brock, just go get your hat. Your day's done. We're not going to let your body cool down and then throw you back into this game that means nothing to you. So we're going to get you out of there. But I do think that had the Saints not gone on a 12-play drive, but had their own 3-and-out, I bet you Brock might have gone back out there for one more series, only because I don't think Kyle Shanahan likes wasting time. And tonight was an utter waste of time for Brock Purdy. The only thing that happened to Brock Purdy was he was exposed to danger. That's all that really happened for him tonight. What else we got going on here in the chat? And by the way, it's great to see so many names, so many good friends, so many good folks who've been with me for years, either on the radio or already in this chat. Larry Wong, he's calling for it. Larry, you asked for it, you got it. We're not at maximum football yet. We are not at maximum football yet. We can't get there until it actually matters, but it'll start mattering on September 9th. Joseph Ernberg. Mordecai seems to be the best quarterback by a long shot. If he wasn't playing in the Super Bowl, they would have won by 15. You obviously didn't watch that much Wisconsin football, did you? Thank you. We will not even dignify that one with a response. Mike Antics again. Ray Gun gets the notoriety, but you'll remember most of these guys tonight. Give them respect. Hey, look, everybody out here is working hard. working hard to try to make an NFL team, if not the one that they're playing on in the preseason. You put enough on tape and you make another team's roster. Another practice squad picks you up. The back of the roster grind in the NFL is the opposite of professional athletic glamour. It's a whole bunch of Nike bags and doing your own laundry at night in a washing machine, in a laundromat, I mean. It ain't sexy on the back of a roster. That's why these guys fight so hard to stay on one. I respect all these guys. And I respect Ray Gun. I'm not here for your Ray Gun outrage and, who was left behind? Who was denied opportunity? And I can tell you this, that there's no element of that entire breakdancing competition that anyone remembers other than Ray Gun. So she's the winner. Even though she was definitively the worst out there and the loser. You know, it's like, who's the most famous long ski jumper in the world? Well, Eddie the Eagle Edwards, the man who traveled the shortest distance ever. So even though she lost, she still won our hearts. I don't know if anyone wins your heart on the back end of an NFL roster, but you know. Hey, hit like and subscribe if you would, please. If you had not hit that like button, what are you waiting for? There's absolutely no skin off your back at all by hitting that like button. It's just you just tap. That's it, just boom, and this show grows. It's shared with more people. But it's not like you're putting your ringing endorsement on it and signing like a pledge to the Damon Bruce channel just by hitting that like button. So please hit like. If you would like to pledge your loyalty to Damon Bruce Plus, memberships are available. It's been a really long time since Sports Bane addressed the crowd. I do believe he will be making a speech before the regular season begins. So you're going to want to get in there for your Sports Bane membership pep talk. But if you would like to become a member of the Initiated, it costs less money than it does a coffee. It really helps support the channel. And as always, you can help support the channel by just clicking subscribe or hitting notify. We just went over 23,000 subscribers. Really good for me. Humble pie in the world of YouTube. But we are entering our second NFL season. I'm really looking forward to this. We are going to be doing post games after each and every show. We don't even wait for the show to end. We go live at the 2-minute warning, and hopefully you plan on coming back early and often throughout this football season. Niners fans, I've been talking to you for generations, and me not being on the radio anymore just doesn't even matter, because here we are. We get together right when we want to at the end of every game. So thank you very, very much for watching, for liking, subscribing, and hitting notify. Let's get back into the chats here. We're brought to you by BetUS. Those are my people right there. BetUS has unbelievable book just waiting for you. If you're looking for a new sports book, look no further than BetUS this year, please. The link is in the description. It is in the chat, in a pinned chat. And right now, check out BetUS, and you will find a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. So get in, lock in, load up, start playing, and have a good time. And as always, bet responsibly. And I know that every 49er fan, you want to make that wager on the Niners, but how can you make that wager on the Niners until Brandon Aiyuk is officially settled, for goodness sakes, right? I mean, I need some Brandon Aiyuk conclusion before I can start playing like Brock Purdy touchdown season-long overs and unders, even team wins overs and unders. You know, Brandon Aiyuk is absolutely the difference in winning a game or not this year. I really believe that. You know, it's hard to see the 49ers 13-14 wins without Brandon Aiyuk. 10-11-12 without Brandon Aiyuk? Yeah, but 13-14, really looking to put that number up there, a 1 seed? Get a guy like Brandon Aiyuk on the team. And obviously, when I say Brandon Aiyuk, I always mean and Trent Williams. It's not like this is a binary choice. You get one or the other. Both of them should be signed and playing football in a Niner uniform this coming week. This coming week, big week in the Bruce household. Oh my God, Monday morning, Jack goes to kindergarten. The 5-year-old, he's in. He's going to kindergarten. we are going to do Wake Up. Yours truly and Larry Krueger will be coming to you a little later than normal. Expecting 9:15-ish Wake Up, but we will be at it 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, doing Wake Up. And then, of course, there's my show at 11. So, man, it is a big football season coming up. Season 2 here. We're looking forward to it. Let's see. Damon, did you listen to the broadcast? Mute that and tell Alexa to play 49ers and then pause the game until the radio catches up. It's much better. I mean, if you want Greg Papa on the call, that's the way to go about doing it. I like Adam Amin, and I actually think that Mark Sanchez isn't bad. He's a little dorky. He's a little corny. But I like Mark Sanchez. I think he brings up some good observations. Again, the whole, you never want to see an 11-yard run against an 8-man box. I agree with that thoroughly. I even wrote, here's the thing. If I wrote down something that you said in the broadcast, I'm not going to say you're a bad broadcaster. I wrote down a thing or two that Sanchez said tonight, so I'll give him that. What I would have been interested, because I heard that they had the Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady booth there practicing. Tom Brady getting broadcast practice reps. I love it. Okay, Rook, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got, Rook. Talanoa Hufanga will be coming back soon. That's good. Sounds like all systems are pointing in the right direction for Talanoa Hufanga, which is I'm really going to give the 49ers an incredibly deep secondary. They're going to be loaded at safety. They're going to be very good on the outsides too at corner if Diamador Lenore really is going to step into the spotlight a lot of people think he's ready for. And then you saw him make a play tonight. Which was, I thought, really nice to see out of, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name right now? Renardo Green. Thank you very much. Renardo Green, if that guy is comfortable playing inside, playing nickel, my goodness, everything starts falling into place for that 49ers secondary to have a really impactful year. Jair Brown, Malik Mustafa, big ads. Talanoa Hufanga, a big return. I like Yadam. I like Rock Yassin. So, Charvarius Ward is maybe the best, least appreciated 49er on this team right now. We could sit around and talk 49ers football, and nobody would really bring up Charvarius Ward. The guy's one of the most important players on the team. Full stop. So, man, good game because nobody got hurt. And that's what matters more than absolutely anything else. Didn't look like there was a single injury that we need to worry about in any way, shape, or form. Unless Kyle said something that I don't know about. I haven't seen it anywhere, but again, I've been here on the air. Larry, Julie Hayner's son was out there QBing tonight. Yeah. Julie Hayner's kid is on the Saints. He got, drafted out of Fresno State. And that kid looked like he was playing in his first NFL game. But, good for Julie Hayner. Didn't she just retire? I think she's done now, right? Julie Hayner is no longer on the air. But congratulations to all the Hayners everywhere. We got confirmation here from Vlad the Impala. Pline wasn't out there. Thank you very much. I still haven't I'm not reporting that as much as I'm sharing that. We asked earlier, was he out there? I don't know if he was out there or not. Let's see. We had Big Mac 8675, who is a longtime Bay Area guy, moved to Green Bay, Wisconsin this offseason. He's like, everyone out here is hyped for that Packer game. Not in the house tonight, though. Love watching my Niners, even if it's preseason. Yeah, if you live in Green Bay, Wisconsin, brother, you are as surrounded as it gets. So good luck. Good luck. I really mean that. Good luck to you. Chase Young played the best half of his career. Would have been nice to see that last season. Yeah, Chase Young absolutely had a little something for the Niners tonight. But remember, Chase Young got to play backups tonight while he was highly motivated on the team that said, well, you're kind of a dog, so you're not going to stick around here. We're not going to pay you anything anyways. So he came in motivated, and look, he played well. Give him credit. If he didn't, shame on him. Breida, solid. Breida was solid out there. What did Breida finish with? 7 carries, 24 yards, long of 12. Did he catch a ball? 2 balls, 25 yards. I think Breida's got a spot on this team. I would keep Breida almost as like a running back wide receiver. Like, I'd rather have Matt Breida on this team than Ronnie Bell. I'd rather have Breida on this team than Danny Gray. Because you can't trust either of those guys in a real game situation the way that you can just trust Matt Breida, because he's been in game situations. Those guys have way too much trouble getting to the game to then not be ready for the game situation. So the roster's shrinking, and there's going to be some tough names finding their way on it for sure. This is Suppression Life says, I don't want to see players not on the fringe getting reps this Friday. Need the second and third string guys getting reps. It all depends on how they want to go about playing it. If you told me Shanahan wanted to use it as an official final tune-up for guys, they'd play it your way. If you told me Shanahan just wanted to make sure he got the regular season healthy, it'll be nothing but taxi squad guys and camp legs and camp arms and camp hands and camp feet. I wouldn't put a single player that mattered into the final preseason game if I'm the 49ers. I would use all my practice time to get this team tuned up for the New York Jets, and that's it. You know, the ones take over from here, and you can't get anyone that matters hurt in the last game that doesn't matter. In the name of warming anybody up, I just don't think it needs to happen. Gina says, loving some postgame, and Damon, it's going to be one of the only times I can listen live. Well, why is that, Gina? Well, look, here's the beauty of YouTube. You start that video whenever it's convenient for you. It's right in your pocket on your phone, easy to take with you. But it's great to have you here. I guess you must be busy working on Sunday nights then, for the most part. Well, look, 49ers got a couple Monday night games, got a couple of Thursday night games this year. So, you know, we can get together. We can get together. Larry Wong wants more Puni. You want more Puni? Want some Guy Haberman? More Puni? Puni porn? Watch this. Do the spin. Coming back around. Don't touch my quarterback. Here. No, here. Oh, hello. Look at that. I like that. That's a big man pirouetting right there. Big man pirouetting. Love it. Absolutely love it. He's starting. He might not start week 1, but at one point this year, he is starting for sure. I like Cowing. Riddy is saying, man, people really think preseason is regular season. Well, this is why I'm here. Riddy, this is why I'm here, to talk everybody down from that lunacy. Everyone needs to calm down. Oh, Puni's already getting nicknamed. Poon Dog. Irwin, Damon, man. You did get a little Baldy breakdown there for a moment. Oh, thank you. What else we got here? Oh, now you're just trying to get to me, all right? The best 49er is Jalen Graham, who played for Purdue. How dare you? I know that they snuck that Purdue reference into the broadcast. I heard that. I felt that when it happened. Poontang? Poontang? Does he wapata all the baddies? I like that. Puni Tang. I'm in. Absolutely in. What I am in is kindergarten tomorrow morning, dropping off my 5-year-old. I think I have to support Jillian as much as I need to support Jack. She already told me, she's like, I'm going to cry tomorrow morning. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna, but I'll be there for you to lean on. So I'm going to wrap this up here. Let's wrap up with a few more chats. SB says, honestly, I felt the O-line did okay. Wide receivers are not getting open. D-line needs to be better on the run. I mean, yes to kind of all of that. It was a bad side for the right side of the offensive line, but that's not the right side. No, excuse me, it was a bad side for the left side of the offensive line, but no one on the left side that actually plays is really out there. The right side kind of did its job. So it was a halfway night for the offensive line. It was a very good night for Brandon Aiyuk because you're right, the wide receivers were not getting open. They were not impressive. They were not catching what was thrown at them. The 49er quarterback, the four-headed quarterback the 49ers had out there was 25 of 43. That is inefficient, and it wasn't just inefficient because they were spraying it around, but guys weren't coming open. Guys were running poor routes. Looked like Ronnie Bell got lost on a route earlier in this game when Dobbs was in too. Looked like, Dobbs threw to a wide open spot on the field that Bell was not standing in. And then Bell gave the universal "my bad" arms. Jim Souza saying, this is the kind of radio I like. Well, thank you. It's the kind of radio I like too. Really, really is. JP says, look, I'm not saying DB Sports Bane, but you have never seen them in the same room. I'm not, I don't know what you're talking about. Gina said that Papa had a different touchdown call. Yeah, he saves San Francisco, which I don't even like. I don't like it. It's not a good. It should be touchdown Niners. I guess that was a little too Raiderish, too close to home for him. So he went touchdown San Francisco, and doesn't really do it for me. I think Greg is a state-of-the-art, best in the business level play-by-play guy. I'm just not a huge fan of the San Francisco call. I've talked to him about it. We've discussed. Let's see. Thomas got injured. Okay. Not in this game. Amber Thomas last game. Dame, did you enjoy watching the Temu 49ers tonight? That is exactly what they were. That was the backups, boys. Backups for sure. Again, nothing really to worry about. Just get to September 9th. Here's the only thing left to do. A lot of Puni Hounded. I like it. There's a lot to have fun with there all season long, no doubt about it. It's as simple as this. Here's what I'm going to leave you with tonight. We'll have one more preseason game to get through, and then it'll start for real. Here is the goal of the preseason. Nothing but the following matters. Nothing but the following matters. Sign Trent Williams and Brandon Aiyuk. Get to week 1 healthy. That's it. That's it. They can lose their next preseason game 100-0. If they've signed Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams, it will have been a fantastic preseason, and we'll see you week 1 against the New York Jets, everybody. Touchdown, Santa Clara. Let's not get crazy. Folks, it's just the preseason. Take a deep breath, relax, go to sleep knowing that Brock Purdy wasn't hurt behind a terrible left side of an offensive line tonight, so you can take solace in that. back tomorrow for Wake Up with Larry. We'll do a show at 11. We got shows all week at 11. Hopefully a few guests up our sleeves. And football season is coming quickly, which means we're getting closer and closer to... Thank you to Ike's. Make sure you get a sandwich at Ike's this week. Next time you're thinking of a delicious pint of Guinness, the Dubliner in West Portal, that's the bar I would love to see you at. I go often. I love those guys. Say hi to John and Kenny for me and let them know that we sent you, that you heard about the bar on this show and you're in to say hello to them. Go to Ike's, order a Damon Bruce, and hopefully you'll be back watching Damon Bruce this season because you have liked, subscribed, hit notify to this channel, and we'll be live at the 2-minute warning of each and every 49er game this upcoming football season. Thank you for being here tonight. This is your busy time. The fact that you spent a little of it with me means an awful lot. Super chats, you bunch of broke-ass fools tonight, but it's just the preseason. So we'll be expecting more in the regular season out of you super chatters. But thanks to those who did. Thanks to those who became a part of the initiated. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Oh, and by the way, this show was brought to you by BetUS.